دور دور دور. شايف غفلة غفلة غفلة. عنده خلاص. والله وقته ضروري رجل 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 حط الريفرس الريفرس. رجعوا ركضوا ركضوا على السيارة على السيارة. Bueno. ¡Oh! ¡Habla! 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 So we were out here throwing the football today, and we see this thing floating through the air. We have no idea what it is, but it doesn't look like an airplane or anything. I mean, it literally just looks like a person's floating through the air. Whoa. Whoops. Well, that's it.
Yeah, let's go underneath it. Okay, so that's an airplane. Matt, that is not of this world. That is not of this world.
This happened. I'm sorry.
What is that?
There's a passenger on the plane, looks out the window, grabs the phone. This was filmed in June. The traveler sees that, an object apparently changing shapes in seconds. Oh. Is it a shape-shifting object? Is it Bezos? Is it Branson? What is it? Is it a UFO?
Mel, go for it. What do you see?
I have no. Okay, I'm looking at this for the first time. I want it to be surprised. Whoa!
What was that?
No way.
Oh,
Okay.
that's crazy.
So
No, man.
I don't. That could be anything. Honestly, here's the thing. Like I don't know what that could be. There's. Someone said I read this little bit online, and someone said that maybe that's just the reflection off the window of something or other,
It
right?
could
Like
be.
that it's catching the light. Funny.
Well,
Okay.
if you ever look through the window, there's always a little kind of hole,
Yes.
right, on the second window. So maybe it's that, and it's just reflect. Maybe that would be the best way to describe, because that's creepy. That is alien
Yes.
object to me, because it did this whole like, praise the Lord hands.
You made an angel.
Yeah, and then no, man, that's creepy.
Here's the thing, Dee. If you're filming that though, aren't you narrating like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how that person was able to stay so composed and just film it silently and not be like, are you guys seeing this? Because in movies, if that is what some people think it is, a UFO, when there's one, there's 100 that's about to descend on you, and you're like, hey guys, is everybody hip to this?
No.
Right? Would you not be alerting people? Like, do you see that? Do you see that? What is that?
See, that looks
you're
okay
right.
to me. That part right there. You're like,
That looks like
could
luggage.
be.
That looked like
could be
luggage
anything.
fell from something. Yeah.
No, let's hope
But then, watch, it starts like that.
Yeah,
Come
that
on.
part's weird.
It says hello to you, is what it
weird.
does. The
Yes.
arms come out.
And then it presents itself right here.
Yeah.
And
you
let
doing?
me present myself as an angel to you to make you lose your mind.
What are you
It's
guys
almost
doing?
like a
Come on.
That's it.
It looks like a
yes.
Father's tie. Father's Day tie.
A Father's Day tie?
Yeah.
It does look like a tie.
It does.
Maybe not just specifically for Father's Day, but yes, a tie.
I was going to say, what's the
But
difference?
you might be onto something about that little crack thing in the window, Mel.
I think Mel's right.
There's right there because
crack
it's
in the
moving.
window.
It's sort of with
Yeah.
the light. It's going with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't believe in the other life forms. I think they're there. I think it'd be really naive to think that we're the only ones here. But this scenario, something feels a little bit off.
You know what?
A ghost hunting researcher was documenting the extraterrestrial forces and strange artifacts in different parts of Hungary. But what he found was scarier and much more alive. First, he comes across necklaces made from human teeth and an entire abandoned graveyard. When he looks around, he realizes he isn't the only living person in the graveyard. He finds a goth woman, possibly a witch, hiding somewhere. Hungarians are known to be brave, so the guy, instead of running, shouted something. The woman got up, picked up her stuff, and started running. The guy chases the witch into the forest, but loses track of her because he fell to the ground. In this video, a woman can be seen performing witchcraft on a mountainous open space with no one around. You can see in the video that was caught in Scotland, the woman is making strange signs and movements, from moving in circles and shaking her head. She is also wearing a black top that indicates her gothic nature. She looks scary, but it gets scarier when strange voices come from her as she puts her hands up in the sky and moves around, performing some type of magic. She stays there for a while, which seems like she's waiting for something grim. We're sure that it is a witch performing magic, and it is truly a terrifying scene, due to which the guy who recorded the video couldn't stay there for long. This video was captured in Guatemala and Mexico. The kids are seen jumping into the river, enjoying a hot summer day. The camera was there so the kids performing acrobats could get recorded and later review them on the tape. Little did they know there was a witch nearby. While reviewing the tape, they found something very strange in the top of the video. There are figures moving one after another in a line, and the most shocking thing is that the figures are moving in the sky, without any support. There are 3 figures in total, and upon examining the video, it can be seen that the figures are traveling on broomsticks. They might be going back to a witch's den. Them too. Captured by the team from Ghost Shots, this is easily one of the spookiest videos ever. It shows a car dash cam on a police car recording while the car is in an abandoned and creepy road with no lights around in Puerto Rico at 4 a.m. Suddenly, the car slows down, and what you see next will definitely scare you. A woman is seen standing in the middle of a road while wearing a black and red dress, confirming it's actually a witch. She is standing in a very weird position, but just when you think it can't get scarier than this, she pulls her face up and opens up her arms wide. Maybe she's just lonely and asking for a hug. Well, whatever it is, the scene is just truly terrifying. The police officers avoided making any physical encounter with the witch. This team receives spooky videos from people. The experts analyze and come up with conclusions if they are real or not. This video must have given the investigators of the society plenty to think about. This clip shows a man come across what looks like a diabolical witch's hut. The hut is nothing ordinary. The man finds it decorated with bird bones, dead flowers, a scary stick, and a pentagram. The man assumes that these things probably belong to a witch because they are often used for dark magic. This assumption becomes reality when the guy notices someone running into the forest. Could it be the witch herself? Instead of splitting up, they wisely stayed together and explored the cave, one of them looking and the other one recording in case they hit a jackpot with a ghost. And guess what? They actually do. A black shadow appears in the video for a split second, which is almost unnoticeable. But that isn't all. When they reach the end of the cave, they witness what could be their first ever experience with a witch. A woman in black, shining in black daylight, can be seen levitating in the air. As soon as it gets aware, she flies on what could be her broomstick. The investigators tried to run outside and find her again, but with no luck. This video of the person was captured in 1970, and it shows a person performing magic tricks while smiling and showing off his shiny teeth. He just makes his own ring of fire and stands in the middle. He then opens his arms wide, and next thing you know, he's flying up in the air. The video is just completely amusing. When the journalist brought this video back to his news office, he was laughed at and later was fired from the job. Even today, he believed that the video is completely authentic and hasn't been tampered with. What do you guys think? This video possibly shows the final moments of a supernatural activity enthusiast when he goes to discover an abandoned house. The man decides to enter the house in Oregon despite its overgrown plantation and the warning signs that state "stay out." He bravely enters the house and starts looking around. Maybe he's looking for some valuables in case he doesn't find any ghosts there to record. But it is his lucky day, or as we should say, his last day. He notices a shadow of a woman in black, but even after this, he doesn't get scared and keeps exploring to find something more amusing. He reaches the kitchen and sees the woman in full black standing in front of him. That satisfies his ghost cravings, and he starts running for his life. He definitely needs to work on his video skills, though, because after he starts running, the video shows an annoyingly...
Babe, what is that? Babe, what the fuck is that?
Fuck.
Babe, I'm serious. Get away. I'm being serious. Hold on, let me. What the fuck is that? Babe, what? Get away. Go! Go home!
Hey, నువ్వు ఈ స్పీడ్ లో పైనట్లే ఉన్నామా పదప్ప వేగం కొంచెమా
వీడియో ఏమో వామిటింగ్ అంటున్నాడు వెంకీ వేరే
ఇద్దరు సారీగా నిద్రపోతాడు వామిటింగ్ అట్లా
ఏమేమి చూస్తుంది
ఎక్కడా
చూడాడు
ఎక్కడరా ఎక్కడ ఎక్కడ చెప్పు కొంచెం కెమెరాలో తీస్తాను
చూడి
ఎక్కడ నాకేం కనిపిస్తా
చూడి
ఎవడో నడుచుకొని వస్తున్నాడో ఏమో మాన్ పెయింట్ వేసిండదో ఎవరో నడుచుకొని వస్తుండదో ఏమో ఉంది. ఏ పదరా సీదా ఏరా ఇంత భయం పడతావు భద్రా ఎవరో ఉంటాడా నిల్చుకొని ఎవరికో కాస్తుంటాడు. కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్ ఇప్పాడు కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్ ఇప్పాడు బయట రా ఫాస్ట్ గా భయం ఉంటాయి. పోయి కెమెరాలో తీస్తున్నాను చూస్తా మేము
This is some footage of a man filming an airport runway. When he glances down at the road, his camera captures something off-putting. Whatever was captured disappears. The creepy thing is that it triggers the CCTV camera to spin around and look at the window where the figure was.
Elsewhere, the general belief in the existence of witchcraft and poverty among the Gusii community has greatly contributed to the killings of elderly women in the region. Speaking at the Kisii County offices while handing over a memorandum on the lynching of older women in the Marani sub-county to the Kisii County Government Task Force, KNCHR CEO Dr. Bernard Mogese noted the Gusii community believe that witchcraft exists and those associated with the practice are considered wicked, jealous or destroyers and invoke supernatural powers. Daniel Karaoke reports on the rampant cases of witchcraft in Kisii.
Incidents of mob lynching that rocked Kisii County in recent days have forced authorities to confront the question of superstitious practices in the region and particularly the contentious issue of witchcraft. In recent shocking cases, elderly women were targeted and killed by mobs on suspicion of practicing witchcraft. A month ago, Kisii County Governor James Ongwae appointed a 14-member task force to look into the witchcraft myth. This after 4 elderly women were lynched in Bomokona village, Marani, on allegations of being witches. According to the Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights CEO Bernard Mogesa, a report by Gusii Council of Elders revealed that the practice of lynching humans and burning of houses is not a cultural practice of the Kisii community, but rather a subculture founded on lawlessness.
As an antidote to this practice, the community has resorted to the lynching of suspected witches. Whatever the beliefs the community holds, the state must ensure that human rights and fundamental freedoms are respected and protected.
Unravel this issue of the belief in witchcraft. Does it exist or it doesn't?
He noted that failure by a section of political leadership to condemn the practice of witch lynching has continued to cultivate the vice.
The county government of Kisii to support the affected families through provision of psychosocial services, supplies, and opportunities to help them rebuild their lives and cope with the situation.
The Commission also revealed that other factors contributing to rising cases of lynching among the elderly population in Kisii included conflict over land and resources, alcoholism and substance abuse, community stigma, and inadequate response by state agencies.
Faith-based organizations should take a more proactive role in educating people on the need to uphold the sanctity of human life.
Mr. Edward Beji, who was representing the chairperson of the task force, thanked the Commission for the submissions, saying the memorandum will assist the team to develop a comprehensive report on witchcraft beliefs within Kisii region.
As a task force, we have carried town hall meetings in all sub-counties within Kisii County.
Mr. Beji noted the task force had conducted public forums in all sub-counties in the region and is in the process of collecting memoranda for various stakeholders such as KNCHR. Daniel Karaoke for Switch TV News.
Was a Hungarian immigrant who ran a boarding house in the Del Rey neighborhood of Detroit, Michigan. Neighbors believed that Rose was a witch and possessed magical powers. Everyone in her boarding house feared her and refused to look her in the eye. But the story gets even creepier, because 12 men, possibly more, passed away under mysterious circumstances while living in Rose's boarding house. Rose was arrested in 1931, and newspapers dubbed her, quote, the Witch of Del Rey. In this next video, a man who claims to be a policeman says he was filming outside the famous boarding house of the Witch of Del Rey when this happened.
I was on one of my recent calls, there was a domestic disturbance over in Del Rey, and it turned out to be resolved by the time I got there. But some people yell, and then they stop yelling. By the time I got there, I noticed there were some peculiar noises coming from a neighboring house. Please bear with me. I'm not professional at this, but there were some stills and footage I took.
We're here on Medina Street. With thing on. The house appears abandoned. A lot about fires, and this looks like an isolated incident coming from within the home. Not very old.
I had no warrant, and I certainly did not want to enter if you see for yourself what I saw.
Hello! Hello!
On the force, you learn to trust your gut, to trust yourself, and I was jeopardizing my safety. But the sounds I heard, and now you've heard, I cannot explain them.
So is this the ghost of the famous Witch of Del Rey taking a quick look out the window? Or is it all just a hoax? You decide. A Twitter poster named Greg claims that after his grandfather passed away, he inherited an isolated lake cabin located deep in the woods. He decided to stay there for the winter while trying to sell the house. But Greg says that someone soon began to leave strange things outside his home, including this odd wooden symbol that was left hanging on his doorknob. He says that soon after he began to find more of the strange trinkets around his property. And late one night, while Greg was wandering around outside, he saw this. A strange woman, bald, and seemingly with only pale skin where her eyes should be, was standing in the darkness outside his home. Greg says that he could only describe the woman as a witch, but he doesn't know who she was or why she was there. Now, of course, most people believe Greg's story to be yet another Twitter ARG or internet horror fiction, but many of his 100,000 Twitter followers believe his story to be something more. And of course, Greg claims that his story is 100% real. So is this Twitter tale fact or fiction? Is this the true story of a lonely mountain cabin and what could be a mysterious witch in the woods? Or is it just another intricate Twitter creepypasta? You decide. By the way, you can read more of Greg's story on his Twitter at Gregory88. Very strange video from Colombia. A family claims that they are tormented by the spirit of a bruja or witch who haunts their home. In this clip, they are woken in the middle of the night by bizarre moans coming from downstairs.
Son las 1:30 de la mañana. Estoy otra vez acá en la casa. Están molestando como siempre. Esta vez quise grabar. Aquí está la Marianita. Voy a despertar a Junior. Diosito.
Mami, señora.
Papi, levántese que es que otra vez están molestando. ¿Otra vez están molestando acá en la puerta? Vamos, entonces, pero grabemos esto. Cristian está acá abajo del... Cristian, ven, tus compañeros estén pendientes que otra vez están molestando en la puerta. Están molestando acá. Vamos, vale. Pila, Joanita.
Mami, ¿te oye? ¿Te escucha?
Mami, pero ¿qué van a abrir allá? Mami, por favor, cuidado con la niña, Joana, por favor, por Dios. Dios mío, Señor, guarda, cubre tu sangre preciosa, Señor, por favor.
Hola, abuelita.
¿Se están escuchando?
Mami, hablamos por la puerta.
Pero quiero me da la mano. No sé por eso. Que tenga la lista ahí, tranquilo.
¿Qué te diga? No te vas a salir, por favor.
Pero tenga la tenilla lista. Cristian, quédate atrás. Quédate atrás de nosotros.
Quede calmada.
Déjame bajar la cocina.
Mami, te oyes abajo,
Mami, abajo. Sí. Cójala. Yo no escucho. Espérate la niña.
No hay que subirse algo, nosotros andamos en una bolita ahorita.
Vamos a bajar por el sótano. Agarro con la peñita.
En nombre de Jesús. No, espere, yo no quiero bajar solo.
Bájale todo. Baje, que dame la luz.
¿No es el propio?
Sí,
Mami, está hacia allá, mire.
Se le acercó la cámara. No está por allá.
Vamos.
¿Qué
peligro eso?
No, por eso voy a acercarla. En el nombre de Jesús. Ya déjenos en paz.
En el nombre de Jesús. Vamos a ver arriba.
¿Qué es eso?
As is probably evident from the potato video quality, this clip has been passed around the internet to the point that the original source is no longer known. So unfortunately, there's no follow-up and no information on what happened to the family. But what's your opinion? Does it look like this family is being haunted by the spirit of a witch? Or is it all just a hoax and some fake hysteria? YouTube channel The In Vegas Style set up a motion-activated security camera outside his home after neighbors told him that some suspicious teens were skulking around his house while he was at work. Sure enough, he caught video of someone who seemed to be casing his home, repeatedly walking up to his house to check things out. Mike posted the video online and notified his neighbors to be on the lookout. Luckily, everything worked out, and there was never a break-in or any property vandalism. Now, cut to 2 years later. Mike still has his motion-activated security camera installed, monitoring the street outside his home. Well, on this particular day, the camera catches something very bizarre. The camera begins recording as Mike's wife pulls into their garage, but the footage is digitally distorted. It's so pixelated that it almost looks like the camera is damaged or receiving some serious interference. But notice the strange figure walking down the sidewalk, and then the video clears for one brief frame to reveal this. For just an instant, we see clear footage of something that appears to be right out of a horror movie. It looks like some misshapen thing with a long nose and a tiny head, dressed in very bizarre clothing. Now, as I mentioned, there is heavy distortion in the clip, but it seems very odd that the person or thing in the video seems to be much more distorted than the surroundings. Mike says that his surveillance camera has never malfunctioned before this clip, and has never malfunctioned since. This is the only time this ever happened. So, what do you think? Is this simply digital distortion rearranging the features of an average person? Could it be someone wearing a mask? And either way, why does this odd glitch only occur right as this person enters the frame? Is it a witch, a creature, a thing, or simply digital distortion? Let me know what you think.
Sightings of a mysterious winged beast directly preceding great disasters have been reported as far back as the 1920s. In 1926, witnesses claimed to have seen a dark, winged human-like creature flying above the Xiaote Dam in the southeastern foothills of China. Shortly after the sighting, the dam burst, flooding the nearby villages, killing 15,000 people. But what is this mysterious winged beast? Well, more recently, said creature has come to be known as the Mothman, and he's a bit of a local legend. In West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 12, 1966 to December 15, 1967. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register, dated November 16, 1966, titled, "Couple See Man-Sized Bird. Creature. Something." The national press soon picked up the reports and helped spread the story across the United States. The Mothman was introduced to a wider audience by Gray Barker in 1970 and later popularized by John Keel in his 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies, claiming that there were supernatural events related to the sightings and a connection to the collapse of Silver Bridge, something we'll discuss in more detail in just a second. Some pseudoscience adherents, such as UFOologists, paranormal authors, and cryptozoologists, claim the Mothman was an alien, a supernatural manifestation, or a previously unknown species of animal. This photo is almost definitely the world's most famous photo of this mysterious flying cryptid. This photo of Mothman atop the Silver Bridge in West Virginia was taken shortly before the bridge collapsed. On the 15th of December, 1967, the bridge collapsed, tossing vehicles into the river and killing 46 people. Did the Mothman destroy the bridge? And does this photograph capture the moment he did it? Many people think so. And this event isn't the only catastrophe Mothman has been connected with. In March 2011, a man by the name of Marcus Pules claimed to have seen a dark, human-like creature with wings circling the Fukushima nuclear power plant just days before it was destroyed by an earthquake. Shortly after returning to the US, Pules learned that the region had been hit by a devastating earthquake and that there was a dangerous radiation leak coming from the nuclear plant. Mothman is an interesting case in the world of cryptozoology, as there are far more sightings of him than any other cryptid. With so many sightings of the mysterious Mothman, it's difficult to dismiss the stories as fabricated. Skeptics will disregard almost any other monster, but with Mothman, even the most skeptical think there may be at least some reality to his existence. Could Mothman be some sort of mystical creature with the power to foretell disaster? Or could the beast actually be causing these catastrophes? What do you think?
Horacio Roquette's morning started off like any other.
Mira, ese día fue un día en la semana.
That day was a weekday and I started working early, at 7 in the morning. Only, I overslept a little.
Un poquito dormido.
But as he approached the street, something made him glance up at the sky.
It was like intuition. So I turned around and looked towards the sky, and I saw something out of the ordinary.
Y vi algo, algo fuera de lo normal.
So what I did then was to run back for the camera.
Horacio and his sister had the presence of mind to capture this strange object on videotape.
The moment I turned on the camera and start filming it, it started moving.
En ese momento se empezó a mover.
It's incredible. I turned on the camera and started filming, and it almost appeared as if it noticed me. You could see it was heavy, in a dark color, a type of humanoid. It looked like some sort of spacesuit. Something was very strange.
Entonces se veía que pesaba de color oscuro. Sí se le veía.
I remember there being a lot of light. Maybe it was emanating some sort of energy.
Everything gets analyzed, compared, authenticated.
Jim Horrocks, a law enforcement video analyst in Los Angeles, will use state-of-the-art technology to examine the footage.
So what we're seeing is the raw footage from Horacio in Mexico, handheld video, very shaky.
The first step is to try and stabilize the image.
Because of the shake in his hands, the subject matter flies all over the screen. And so what we attempt to do with motion stabilization is to center that unknown object in the center of the screen.
Next, Horrocks searches for a single frame of video that can be enhanced.
That's a pretty clear frame there. There's very little contrast on this, but we can tighten that up a little bit.
Then, by zooming in, Horrocks reveals each individual pixel of the video.
That's at 300%. You still have the round shape, larger at the top, smaller at the bottom. You have something protruding from it.
He examines the eerie reddish glow more closely. Either the object is emitting light, or it is reflecting light from some other source, like the morning sun.
If we assume that this is correct, that it's 7:15 in the morning in June in somewhere in Mexico, the sun hasn't quite risen over these buildings in which to create a lit courtyard. Is it possible that the sun is illuminating and causing these highlights, these reflections? Certainly.
Horrocks tries a second frame, which reveals more detail and definition in the object.
And essentially, I'm just searching through the timeline to find a spot where we get the most detail possible.
Another frame in particular shows an eerily human shape.
So I think this image here, when people view this back and this image sticks in their mind as saying this is a flying humanoid because you have a head shape and legs and arms, and he appears to have his hand on his hip and he's waving to us. I can see where people could come to that conclusion.
Joe Nickel remains skeptical. He says that the sightings of flying humanoids can be explained by a tradition at Mexican celebrations.
My understanding is that in Mexico, there's, at weddings, clusters of balloons are released. If there is already some mythology,
But one thing that isn't going down is this man who seems to be going up. God, what a segue. This crazy footage from a rainy day shows a shadowy humanoid figure gliding up the side of this building. He's not zooming by quickly, he's not exactly desperate to get out of there or eager to glide by unnoticed. He seems pretty chill in his flying methods. He's less Superman, more Peter Pan. As you can see, he glides by a building with a huge PNC logo. For those unfamiliar, PNC is a pretty major banking firm. There are a couple of schools of thought here. One is that it's just a coincidence and he could have been flying by literally any building. But the other is that this flying man is in the middle of a pretty major bank robbing operation. What do you think? Monterey Witch. So this footage is a little shakier than the other clips we've shown you in this video, and a lot more sepia, so the validity of it is a little tricky to confirm. Regardless, it potentially shows something very interesting. Filmed on the 17th of May 2006, it seems to show a strange human-like figure hovering through the air above Mexico. The grainy footage has divided people. Some think this is literally nothing to get worked up about, while others consider this one of the most important pieces of evidence of the supernatural that exists on the web and have dubbed the figure in question the Monterey Witch. Interestingly, paranormal researcher and author Vanessa A. Ryan did some research into the so-called Monterey Witch and discovered that if you dug into the history books, this grainy footage is far from the only possible witch sighting in the area. By regarding 2005 and 2006, there was this story on the news regarding two cops who had seen some weird person they remarked as a witch. There's an opportunity to actually see the interview. Just in case you want to, Google Bruja Nut Monterey, which signifies Monterey Witch. However, the interview is in Spanish, thus I'm going to translate what each of them stated. I saw a woman wearing black with feathers and two black claws. The opposite cop said it had been flying. I don't know if I should send a link, but they made a spoken portrait and this is what they drew. What do you think? Does this confirm that the grainy footage is of a witch, or is it nothing but a fake? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Over Peru. This peculiar footage seems to show a man hovering over the skies of Peru. He's not exactly flying, say like Superman, he's more standing rigid and over. It's hard to explain and incredibly peculiar. I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. I'm kinda running out of ways to say, hey, look, this person is flying. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's remarkable. I have no idea what's going on here. Is it a ghost? An alien? A crime-fighting superhero? Nothing but CG? It's fascinating, it's mysterious, but I've run out of ways to express that. But I need to keep talking to fill my designated word count for the episode. But what else can I say apart from, look, this person is flying? I could give you more about Peru if you'd like. Do you want to know some facts about Peru while you watch a man fly? Peru is a country in western South America. It is bordered in the north by Ecuador and Colombia, in the east by Brazil, in the southeast by Bolivia, in the south by Chile, and in the west by the Pacific Ocean. Peru is a mega diverse country with habitats ranging from the arid plains of the Pacific coastal region in the west to the peaks of the Andes Mountains, vertically extending from the north to the southeast of the country to the tropical Amazon basin rainforest in the east with the Amazon River. Screw it, I'm gonna just do the outro and go to bed.
God, what is that? That shit's turning, bro. Is that Jesus Christ? Please. Please, our Father God. Mom, es un hombre. Es un hombre.
Oh, what? Are you sure?
Yes, Mom. But it went behind the tree and I can't see it no more. Oh no, it's right there. Hello? I'm gonna come home right now, babe. Vanessa, do you mind moving your car so I can go home? Yeah. You don't think that's balloons?
No, I'll go bring my car keys. Yeah, that's what I was
Looks like it's coming.
So far, I'm thinking this one here. Hang on, let me see if I can get a closer image. It's hard to tell because of masks and stuff, but like, look at her, or whatever it is, the skin color is gray on this one, and you're gonna see like an eyeball right here change, but I gotta try to get it zoomed in better. That's what kind of sucks, is I don't have a good zoom on here. I guess I'll have to crop it, but can you see how that eyeball all of a sudden just like bulges out? And then the second odd one so far would be this dude here. It's once again looks like white or gray skin with sunglasses over it. See that? And then this weird looking black thing here. But once again, it could be a mask, you know? That's how they hide. It just still looks very strange and suspicious compared to the other people around. Like, look at this lady, you know, she looks pretty normal. And then you see this thing next to her that just looks odd as fuck, you know? Gray skin, like another strange skinned color. It's like a white almost, because you can see a nose there, you know? But anyways, so those two definitely look weird. This bigger one, see, look at that face. You can see a nose and you can see an eyeball, and that does not look human. Like, what the heck? Wait, I don't know. Something looks bizarre there. And what's with, you know, I don't know. There's just something off, and like intuitively to me with that one. Those two particular ones. I'm gonna just go ahead and back it out and just screenshot the whole thing. Now, you see the crowd, like, see this dude? I mean, he's just a little guy looking normal. Most of these little old dude Trump supporters. But then, ooh, look at this little black-eyed child in the back here. Right there. Look at those black eyes. There's just, you know, things you gotta look for that stand out in the crowd, and those two definitely stand out. There's something weird about their faces. Masks are not. There's something weird about their energy. the energy's off. It's not like the others that are standing there. You see? What the fuck is this? That could be something weird. I don't know. Just kind of, it's hard to tell. He's really strange. And then, and look at his face. You see that humans' faces don't do that. He's got like, I don't know if those are horns. One eye goes this way, one eye goes this way. Oh yeah, a lot of them have really big eyes that I've seen in this video also. The ones that aren't human. I get that people have masks on, but that's suspicious. What the fuck? That's suspicious right there. Look at the faces around him, okay? Hello. Another weird one right there. There's definitely some things in this crowd that are not human, that are probably soaking up all this crazy loosh for themselves. See that? Ooh, wait, let's back it over here. See, you can't get a face on it. See? Definitely. There's another weird one right there. In the back. Whatever that is. See that face? I'm noticing their skin, most of their skin compared to the other people are grayish. See that face? Grayish and greenish. There's another one there. You can't even get eyeballs on this one. Very interesting. And then what the fuck is that motherfucker right there? Looks like a Jesus Christ. Sorry. I don't mean to be like, it's just weird. Hang on. Okay. Whoa, that's like a straight up, hold on. Please tell me that's like some kind of fucking mask head, costume head or something right here. And look at that head now. This guy, okay? Watch his face, like, okay, the one by the flag. There's a few, okay, so there's the no-face dude, but then this guy, that's the one where I say Jesus Christ, because I didn't see a human face on him at all, but like as the camera moves, like his face, like, first of all, look at that compared to this one. Okay, let's look at his skin color and everything. It's so different. This one out, so here's half the face, right, but the rest of the face, I just cannot get a view of a face on this one. And all their skin in this particular crowd is all the same color. It's either like white or like this greenish grayish shit, whatever the fuck it is. Or that one that I just showed you with the weird shaped eyes. Where did he go? Oh, he's, hold up, right here. This guy here. See, something's just strange. He's shouldn't be looking like that. Compare them to the guy here. Compare these two to this dude. Okay? See the difference? And this guy is farther away. The skin color is weird. The eyes are shaped weird. This dude doesn't even have a face. So hang on, let me see. Okay, now check this out. Okay, scrolling through the crowd, there's colorful people, and you know, all of a sudden you hit this guy here that looks like he's from a black and white movie, like with no color. You see, like, huh? Why does he look like that? All of a sudden, this whole area just looks like a black and white movie. Just look at this. I mean, Look at his skin color and look at those gigantic black eyes. There's no sunglasses here. You would see a line there if those were sunglasses. Okay? That is something non-human. Watch as the camera goes by. You can clearly see those are big black eyes. There's no sunglasses there. And he's watching the camera. He knows he's being recorded right there. See how far away it is? But he knows. Look at it. I mean, even look at it from that far away. Those big ass black eyes.